parent to 4 boys,
nervous.
and
Is it
like
Joe
you,
Bradley?
I know we
No,
can do
but
better.
hold on a sec.
Republican
Hold on. He's putting on his
primaries
headset.
matter, and I'm asking you for your vote
Let's
on
speak
March
to our
17th.
favorite producer.
Learn more
Oh,
at
hey, it's Blazer.
AtkisonForOhio.com.
Oh, hey.
In God we trust.
How are you?
I'm Melissa Atkinson, and I
How
approve
are
this
you?
message.
Good.
Paid
You know,
for
I
by
thought of you
Atkinson
because I
for
know
Ohio.
that you love Disney
Your
so much and
station
with
for
everything going
news,
on.
traffic, and weather in Central
Disney
Ohio.
Plus, and you were
News
probably
Radio
like,
610
oh, no.
WTVN Columbus, WDC HD2 Asheville,
It's
an
okay.
iHeartRadio
I'll just,
station.
live without it.
From
Hey, Em.
ABC News.
Yes.
My buddy
I'm
Rich
Dave
is calling in
Packer.
at
Vice President
12:30.
Mike Pence set to hold a press conference at this
All
hour
right,
with an
we'll
update
catch you-
on the
we'll
fight
catch you in a
against the
sec.
coronavirus.
Okay,
This
sounds good.
following a White House coronavirus task force meeting this morning. The president declaring a national emergency Friday, freeing up additional funds and aid to care for Americans affected by the outbreak.
The president announcing an additional $50 billion in aid available to states, while also relaxing regulations to make it easier for doctors to treat patients remotely, waiving interest on student loans held by federal agencies, and setting up drive-through facilities to test for the virus.
ABC's Trevor Ault at the White House. In New York, Governor Andrew Cuomo marking his state's grim milestone.
We had last night a death in New York City hospital of an 82-year-old woman who had coronavirus.
The number of coronavirus deaths in the U.S. now at least 49. There are more than 2,000 confirmed cases. The House overnight passing a coronavirus aid package. The Senate will take it up Monday. And we've learned there are 4 members of the Brazilian delegation who were with Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro when he visited President Trump in Florida last week who have tested positive for COVID-19. President Trump says he has not been tested. After cruise cancellations from Princess and Viking Cruise Lines Friday, today, Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines expanding its cancellations.
It is a change for Royal Caribbean. On Friday, it said it was putting cruises on hold only in the U.S. if they were leaving from a U.S. port, whereas other cruise lines like Princess have parked their entire fleets. Now Royal Caribbean is changing course less than a day after its original announcement, now saying Royal Caribbean is suspending all cruises globally. It expects to resume cruising on April 11th. Alex Stone, ABC News.
3 Americans and 2 Iraqi service members wounded after a barrage of rockets hit a base housing U.S. and other coalition troops north of Baghdad today. You're listening to ABC News.
Ohio Governor Mike DeWine will give an update at 2 this afternoon on the coronavirus situation in the state. At last word, there were 13 confirmed cases of the virus in Ohio, 6 in Cuyahoga County alone. The governor says 159 people are being monitored for symptoms of the virus, and 50 people have tested negative. Health officials say up to 100,000 Ohioans may already be infected. And Dr. Amy Atkin is saying that's at least 1% of the state population.
We have 11.7 million people, so the math is over 100,000. So that just gives you a sense of how this virus spreads and is spreading quickly.
And that 1% could be about 100,000 Ohioans who may be carriers with no symptoms. Ohio's casinos and racinos not exempt from the governor's order limiting public gatherings to 100 people, so at midnight all casinos shut their doors until further notice. Ohio's primary will still take place on Tuesday. Now, if you want to avoid polling places on Tuesday, you can vote in person at your local Board of Elections headquarters. County Board of Election offices across Ohio are open today until 4 p.m., tomorrow from 1 till 5. You can also mail in a ballot, but it has to be postmarked by Monday. The court system in Cuyahoga County working to release around 200 low-level offenders from the jail to reduce the COVID-19 risk.
But those inmates just aren't being set free. Administrators say they're working on getting plea hearings for them. The hearings could take place next month. Officials are hoping releasing these inmates could reduce the spread of the illness. I'm Ken Robinson.
And Governor DeWine has sent 17 health care requests to the White House. For more news, listen to The Daily Dive. The big news stories explained, not shouted. Listen to The Daily Dive each day on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. I'm Tom Moore.
Filling your news feed with the top trending news at the top and bottom of the hour. Columbus's news is on News Radio 610 WTVN.
If you haven't quoted Allstate lately, it's the perfect time. Now Allstate has new lower auto rates. You can get the same high-quality coverage and hands-on expertise now at new lower rates. Call a local Allstate agent and get a quote now.
I used to think that all diet and weight loss plans were the same.
Well, not anymore. Noom is a totally different approach to weight loss that uses psychology and small
Eric, you
goals
have
to
about a
change your
minute.
habits. So you lose the weight and
Thank you,
keep it off
ma'am.
for
You gonna
good.
blow out
Noom
commercials
is
today or something? We're
personalized
talking,
just
this
for
is
you.
important
And the
stuff,
app
ma'am.
is super easy to use,
I'm
making it
teasing.
easier to
I
stay
can
on
make them
track
go
and
away
reach your
during your
goals.
Facebook Live.
Visit Noom.com,
All right.
Noom.com, and start your
Thank you, ma'am.
14-day trial today. Change your habits, change your mind, and change for good. With Noom.
You know that feeling you get when you spend less but get more? What if that feeling also came with a 60-day satisfaction guarantee? Raise your expectations. With Wow Business, you get fast internet and a partnership that helps enable business growth and success. Act now. Get Wow Business Internet starting at $44.99 a month. Visit wowforbusiness.com. Offer for new customers, 2-year agreement required, subject to change. Restrictions apply.
Live from LAPD Firearms Range and Training Facility, this is On Target, the latest from the firearms industry, the products and politics that affect your hobby and liberty. This program may not be politically correct, but it is On Target. Now, your host, Eric Delbert.
Good afternoon. Welcome to On Target, broadcasting live from the...
Can I take the mask off? All right. Well, I guess our masks are off, guys. Just don't breathe on me.
Well, I wasn't feeling well this morning.
You just stay down at your end
told
of
my
the
wife,
table.
Well, I told my wife I think I might have the corona. And she said, well, after seeing the 12 empty bottles of corona, I can understand.
Yes. It seems to be, I mean, I don't know what people are all upset about, Ed. You have it every Saturday night.
I
And
know.
you've been fine on Mondays.
Yes.
You know? Well, I'm your host, Eric, joined today in the LEPD studios with a bunch of friends. We're going to get to who's actually here today, but we are broadcasting live from the studios of LEPD Firearms and Range. That's at 999 Bethel Road, and by the looks of the showroom, a lot of people know where we're located because this place has been a bit crazy. Might have things changed in the week. Last week we were running specials on Smith & Wesson firearms, and this week we'll trade a box of ammo for a roll of toilet paper, 2-ply only. I don't want none of that single-ply stuff coming in the door.
Good.
You know what? Now, we're just joking, by the way. We don't need toilet paper, and if you're watching on Facebook, I think we actually have a couple rolls out there. Ed, are you giving away toilet paper with every gun purchase still?
Yes, we are.
All right.
That's the special this week.
That is a special? We're only giving away sheets, squares.
Yes.
Not whole rolls.
And one tissue out of the box.
Yeah, that gets a little crazy.
Did you ever wonder why people are making a run on toilet paper?
It has been something that's been pondered quite a bit.
Well, I mean,
do you have the answer?
Yeah. Well, I think I know I think I have it. Well, I have an opinion. Let's just put it that way.
Well, we know there's plenty of those
Well,
out
if
there.
you get sick, a little bit of, as they say, the runs, and you use toilet paper, right?
Well, I would think.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, it only goes for a day or two. You're not. You might use one roll at best.
Right.
Come on.
I think we need to discuss this on the after-hour internet-only segment.
I think we should have a round table on this. Is what I'm thinking.
Before we get to anything else, usually in the first segment we talk about our segment that we have here at On Target called Who Said That? And it's something that we talk about every week. Every week the politicians and newscasters don't disappoint us on different things, different quotes, using their own words on what they said, and this week was no exception. So, guys, you all listening here? Let me give you the quote. I'm going to paraphrase a little bit because some of it isn't meant for radio, although it was on TV. Here it is. Here we go. You're full of crap. Why does anyone need to own an AR-14 that comes with 100 rounds? Goes on to say you can't own an automatic weapon or a flamethrower. If you're watching on Facebook, you got a visual. So unfortunately for this gentleman, you can own an automatic weapon, you can own a flamethrower, and if he wants to, he can swing by and he can shoot mine. It's right here in the store. Who said that, JC?
Well, our illustrious, I cannot believe it, crazy old Joe Biden who wants to be the president of the United States.
Sleepy Joe.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But he didn't say you're full of crap. He said you're full of SHI. Tea or coffee? What's your choice? I forget. Okay, yeah, that's what he said. So
very clever.
So what's an AR-14?
He also, yeah, we'll get into that in more depth later.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it continues, and it's really crazy. And actually, if anyone hasn't seen this clip, you got to go out there and check it out. He is in Detroit, presumably amongst a lot of people who back him. Looks like union workers, they have hard hats on, and he gets into a heated discussion with an individual who was very professional, asked him a legitimate question, and he just goes off the charts. At one point, asked the gentleman to step outside, uses language such as this, and it's just nowhere close.
Calls him a horse's ass.
That's right, and nowhere close on terminology.
This is in Michigan, and he's talking to auto workers, which, so he's insulting auto workers in the state of Michigan.
Yeah, that's not good.
Okay.
That's not good.
So a little bit more about the details of that in a little bit, but it is definitely worth watching if you haven't gone out there and seen it. Well, we are the owners of LEPD Firearms Range and Training Facility and are active law enforcement. But for 1 hour on Saturdays, we put together a group of firearm experts to discuss new products in the market, training tips, and all too often political topics surrounding the Second Amendment. Our commitment, though, is always bring you the facts about our industry and help our customers and our listeners with self-responsible ownership of firearms. Safe, responsible ownership of firearms. How about that? Just like I wrote it down. Today on the show, we're going to get to some new products like we originally planned, but like every other outlet these days, we're going to be talking about the impact, either real or perceived, of the coronavirus. For us, that impact was the single busiest day in our history. So when you think about that, we've been open 7 years, actually almost 7 years to the day. We've had 6 Black Fridays. We've had a presidential election. We've had numerous incidents in the country that has spurred people to go buy firearms. But yesterday was our single busiest day. So what does that say? Whether the threat is true or not, the perception, people's perception is that there is a potential there, and so they're trying to protect themselves.
But is this the start of what could happen when something real comes down the line? I mean, what's their thinking when they buy a firearm and ammunition? I mean, what's their thinking?
Protecting their home. If it got to a point, I'm
Protecting themselves.
assuming if it got to a point where people are looting houses or coming for your roll of toilet paper, I mean, I guess
it's ridiculous, and God forbid if a real crisis comes around, how the public is going to react.
Right. You're right. At 12:30, my buddy Richie is going to call in and talk a little bit about this from a national standpoint. We're also going to talk about what it does to prices and what we're seeing in the stores and what's actually flying off the shelves and what's still available going forward. JC will have the gun of the week. It's sponsored by Charmin. It's sponsored by CNS Engraving today.
Yeah, that should be Charmin.
I know, seriously. And it's a neat one. It's one we finally got in the store, so we're going to talk about it, and that's going to be coming up shortly. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Rampart Hosting, Toyota West, Jackson Lawn Care and Egress Windows, the Trigger Group, Blackwing Shooting Center, River's Edge Cutlery, CNS Engraving, and Clean Water Systems, all who make the show possible each week. All right, here's the fun part. Joining me today in the LEPD studios, JC is on location. JC, did you see we did an interview yesterday and we actually got quoted by the Sacramento Bee? Where's that even located?
The Sacramento Bee. Wow. California? Wow. Amazing. That's amazing. And what did they quote?
We were talking about the run on ammunition and so forth, and I get a little Google alert every time we're mentioned out there, and it popped up this morning. So, yes, Sacramento.
Wow.
Say hi to those folks listening out there. My father in co-owner sits to my left. Are you panic buying yet, Popo?
I am not panic. In fact, I will not go into a room in my house where the television is on and there's news on. I will not do that.
Yeah,
it is ridiculous.
It is a bit.
It's gone off the rails, no doubt.
It is a bit crazy. To my far right, Big Ed sits, still on probation. But Big Ed, something happened yesterday that was monumental in your life. I think actually happened today, right? Or is it
today? It is actually final that I retired.
Wow.
But
did you get let go or did you retire?
No, I retired.
Okay.
They were kind enough to let me hang around to be able to retire. So
Well,
it was was a great time, a great 24 years at Perry. I'm going to miss everybody dearly, but I plan on going back and helping them out. What do we have here?
Well, you're giving him a bottle of MD 2020?
Yeah.
Wow.
On behalf of everyone here at the store and stuff, and you've been, I'm not going to get all
Don't get all
choked
teary-eyed
up and
like
stuff,
I
but
did.
you've been a part of the family for a long time and stuff. So I figure when you're sitting at home over the next couple months doing nothing, you at least can be productive in trying out this bottle of bourbon.
You can suck that down in probably no time, Ed.
I could. I might have that feeling of the coronavirus again after I drink all this.
That'll kill the germs for sure.
Well, thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it.
And congratulations, Ed. Really, that is wonderful. And
it is good.
Your service has been really wonderful for all these years. We've learned a lot from you as well. To my immediate right, someone who just happened to walk in the door. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm a little bit nervous. I don't get nervous doing this because, I don't know. I don't get nervous. But because of the man sitting next to me, I'm a little bit nervous today because the experts are in the house. Sitting next to me, Mark Blazer.
Oh, well, first of all, don't be nervous. I actually came in because I wanted to get an AR-14. That was the main reason.
We just sold out of those, Mark.
Well, I heard they're two better than the AR-12, which is why I was trying to find one. And then I noticed also outside the Brinks truck full of toilet paper outside, too. So that brought me in as well. So, yeah. Man.
You know what? It's an honor. You and I have talked for a long time. It's actually funny because I think we actually first met when you were in Cincinnati and did an interview, and we did it here. And then, of course, you came up now, and you're the drive home every day. And so many times I was listening yesterday on my way home from special duty and stuff. But, man, you guys have really knocked it out of the park there. It's an awesome thing to listen to. And, coming on the heels of the Bradley Corby era, you would think that, wow, how are you going to fill those shoes? But you guys have done it.
Thank you very much.
It is great.
Thanks, man. It's been so fun, and I look forward to many more years, hopefully, if iHeart will keep having me. But, yeah, we're having a fantastic time, and I love having you on, man. You guys have a pro setup here. I mean, look at this. You guys do it all right here. It's fantastic.
And you know what? Mark didn't just show up. He brought pizza.
You got to bring gifts to the party. That's how it works.
And you have.
Yeah, Tommy's Pizza is fantastic. So yes,
there you go.
Yeah.
So you're going to sit with us, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Chime in and stuff.
I'd love it. Yeah.
Good. Great. Well, if you missed the show, you can always catch the podcast. That's at 610WTVN.com. It's on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and, of course, Facebook. Facebook is a great place to watch the show. You get to see all kinds of things. And Ed.
And me.
And you get to see Ed, but you're there answering questions throughout. And during the commercials, you actually talk to people and help answer some of the questions.
I do. I want to say hello to a few people out there already. My daughter's listening and watching. Thank you, Jessica, for your support. Bob. Paul Wankel, thanks for the congratulations. Cindy, thank you very much.
But this is all family, right?
No, some of these people I don't even know, but they're wishing me well for my retirement.
Are the people from the St. Martin there?
No, they haven't checked in yet. Hopefully they'll still be out there in the pool and check in like they did last week.
I don't know if I'd come home.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah,
I'd be afraid to fly home, I think, from there.
Blaze, we had people listening from St. Martin last week poolside. I know.
Wow.
I know.
Look at you,
exotic. Hey, we're getting out there.
Yeah,
I know, and it wasn't related to Ed.
It's because of me.
If you want to send us an email, OnTarget@LEPD is the best place to do that. Calling in on the show anytime today is a great place. We want to hear your thoughts on why people are running out there and buying ammo and what your thoughts on that perspective is. 614-821-9886 is the number, and M will answer that phone and get you on with us. So before we get any further, let's say JC. JC, you have some news, and I'll tell you, I don't get too worked up, and I'm really not too worked up over this hype that's going on right now. But something happened yesterday, I think, and JC, I'm going to tee you up on this. Something happened yesterday in Champaign, Illinois, that does have me a bit worried. What happened there, JC?
Well, this is starting a little bit of the craziness. So, as the headline someone put out there. What Constitution? The mayor of Champaign, Illinois, home of the Fighting Illini, which may be apt if this goes through. There could be some fighting in Champaign. Signed a sweeping emergency power ordinance that included her, she's the female mayor, finding her name, that could ban purchase, transfer, or even giving away guns, ammo, also alcohol because of the coronavirus.
Oh
so
God.
this some of these would-be authoritarians think that they could suspend, rights. But here's what they did. This power that she has the ability to close all liquor stores, taverns, private clubs, or any place where alcohol is consumed, ban alcohol sales, ban the sales of fuel except to fill motor vehicles. Need gas for your generator? Too bad. You could also order, this was in the quote of the thing, order the control, restriction, and regulation in the city by rationing, issuing quotas, fixing or freezing prices, allocating the use, sale, or distribution of food, fuel, and clothing. But the thing that really gets me, it says that this order would give city employees or agents on behalf of the city to take possession of any real or personal property of any person, or to acquire the full title that may be necessary to deal with a disaster or emergency, and to take possession of, occupy, or use any real estate to accomplish the alleviation of this disaster. The mayor could. So, anyone hear of the Fourth Amendment? Illegal seizure? This is crazy. How about the Second Amendment? This is just unbelievable.
JC, can you imagine,
So,
JC,
wow.
if that continues, where they would make a mandate of not being able to buy firearms and ammo? I mean, it would flip it upside down. It would if they do that. It would.
This would be. Well, it would keep the 135 police officers in the city of Champaign very
I feel
busy.
horrible for them.
I could only imagine. I love the fact that, the comments that were made on this that were on the net, and everyone says, like dictator, when did that come in? A few other people jump on board.
Right.
And then one of the ones that they quoted from the Blues Brothers movie in 1980, where Elwood turns to Jake and says, Illinois Nazis. I hate Illinois Nazis. It's kind of like, I thought, yeah, the old Blues Brothers.
Wow.
This is really pretty
JC,
crazy.
well, we're going to jump to a
So,
break, JC. When we get
crazy.
back on the other side, we'll talk about a couple other pieces of news that are noteworthy. We're on Target, broadcasting live from the studios of LEPD Firearms and Range. We'll be right back after the break.
Hey, Eric,
Yes, ma'am?
you have a Sam on the phone.
Sam on the phone. All right, we'll go right to him.
Also, it's snowing outside, so.
Oh, well,
Well,
thank
that's
you
not
for
in
that
my
information.
That's not in my forecast. Hey, what's the temp, Em?
40,
40. Coolness.
I think.
Oh, my Lord.
No, I know.
I'll just tell people to look out the window like the rest of us.
39.
All
was
right.
close.
That's close.
I think this is the latest scam. I'm not kidding. This just popped up
What
on
is
my
it?
phone. Because of the corona, we're giving away 3 months of Netflix Premium. Catherine, click this link.
Oh.
You got to click this link. You don't click it. Well, I keep getting Catherine texts. I've had them for, 9, 12 months now. This is unbelievable. This is a work, man.
You also have Luis on the phone.
Cool. We got some callers today.
Cool.
Apparently, he's your friend.
Yeah, I
Eric's
know
friend
Luis.
or my friend?
No, he's my friend.
No, you don't have any. Hey, what's Trump saying on the TV?
Oh, I didn't even know he was speaking till just now. So, I don't know. I'll tell you in a minute.
Thank you.
You have 10 seconds.
Thank you.
You want to do weather?
Dormar, your climate hero. Furnace broken? Dormar Heating and Cooling will fix it today, guaranteed.
Here at BC6, first warning weather today, cloudy and cooler with wintry mix later on this afternoon, high of 42. Tonight, rain and snow mix ending late, low of 31. For Sunday, lots of sunshine, dry and warmer, high of 48. It's currently 39 degrees on your severe weather station News Radio 610 WTVN.
Columbus's news, traffic, and weather station. News Radio 610 WTVN.
Violence flaring, bullets loading. You're old enough to kill, but not for voting. You don't believe in war, but what's that gun you're toting? And even the Jordan River has bodies floating. But you tell me over and over and over.
Pawpaw, that's your era.
That is one of the many, many protest songs during the Vietnam War.
Yep.
Yeah.
I tell you what, it's crazy. I mean, we talked about it this week around the store. The younger generation, hasn't seen a little bit of panic set in from a nationwide standpoint, like we saw, I guess, most recently after 9/11 and so forth. So it's interesting times. Welcome back to On Target.
Breaking news, Eric. Breaking news.
Yes.
Bill Lind is still in St. Martin, checking in again, and he says, "Tell Blazer we said hello."
Oh,
all
right.
St. Martin.
Wow.
Love
Respond back to we're still jealous.
I will. And tell him to bring back something more than tan lines.
We're broadcasting live from the studios of LEPD Firearms and Range. That's located at 999 Bethel Road. I'm your host, Eric, joined today in the LEPD studios. My father and co-owner, Phil, sits to my left. JC is on the line with us. Big Ed, retired, unemployed. Big Ed sits to my right.
Looking for work.
And we are so honored to have to my immediate right, Mr. Blazer, right here with us. I can't believe that.
Thanks for having me, man. This is fantastic. I love it.
I'm starting to see a tradition here. Maybe, Saturdays you're not doing nothing.
It's fun.
Right?
It's fun.
So, guys, before we get any further, I want to jump to a couple callers. I believe Sam is on the line. Sam, you're on with OnTarget.
Hey, guys. How are you today?
We are good.
Good. Just wanted to let you know the union worker, that Jerry Wayne, has done a NRA commercial. You can find it on YouTube, and it's about a 4-minute little clip that he tells about how Biden was going to take his AR-14 away from him, shows him shooting it, and he tells the reason why he stands up for the NRA and his rights to bear arms.
Great video,
Sam, we just saw the video. We actually just linked it on our Facebook. It is definitely worth the watch. It's a phenomenal video. The guy, have you seen it, Blaze?
Yeah, we had the audio and stuff. We did the story earlier in the week, and yeah, if Biden is trying to go this route, for him to deny and say, "Oh, that was all made up. That was a work. That wasn't a real video that was on," and it's like the videos are there, and there's nothing. There's no edits. There's been nothing like that, and the stuff that he said he's not owning up to it. The flip-flopping is unprecedented during this time.
I know
it. It's crazy.
You know what? It's kind of. Thanks for calling, Sam. It's kind of scary because I actually feel bad for him. I mean, when you saw him, when that guy challenged him, his eyes look. I mean, he looks like he's a little bit confused, and I mean, I feel bad for him. I mean, he should be at home in retirement.
We made this too. We said, tomorrow night the debate. They're in a closed room. It's him and Bernie. It's in D.C. They moved it from Arizona, and I said I can't wait tomorrow night for him to refer to COVID. He'll call it COVID-14. I'm telling you, he's going to do that for starters. A and B. I'm also telling you that I can't wait if he's the nominee for him and Trump to go at it, and Trump is going to eviscerate him.
Oh, that's
he's
going
to leave his feet, you guys, and try to spear Trump when he brings up Hunter Biden. That's the first thing that's going to happen. They're going to have to sneak meds into his drinks that day to get him to relax. He's going to try to punch Trump right in the face, man.
And Trump knows that.
I know it.
He's going to tell him we're going to go outside.
I can't wait.
We're going to go outside.
I can't wait. There's a joke. Somebody goes, he's probably going to try to challenge the coronavirus to a push-up contest.
It's crazy. Thanks for calling, Sam. And that is definitely a video you have to watch, Papa.
I have a corona update.
Yes.
Okay. So far, there's been 150,000 cases, 150,600 cases. Okay.
Worldwide?
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as I can tell. Who knows? I'm getting this off of Google.
Where are you getting this info?
I don't know. From my phone.
Okay.
And from that has been 5,618 deaths. All right. 73,000 have recovered. Almost 74,000. And 71,000 cases are still active. Now, the deaths relate to about 3.7%.
So here's something interesting. And, Blazer, maybe you picked up on this or not. Has anyone interviewed someone who's had it and fine now? Where's the media like, hey, you've had it and I'm back to work. I'm fine. No, it's all doom and gloom.
I just told you last night I had it and I woke up fine today.
Do you have the bug?
It's 12 bottles of Corona that I had drank.
That's called being hungover.
Okay. Well, that explains a lot.
Same feeling,
Guys, before we go into the bottom news, Luis is on with us. Luis is a great friend. You got about a minute, Luis. Are you still there?
Yes, how you doing? Hello to everybody. I just want to say hello, and I want to share something with you. Everybody's complaining about no toilet paper, no sanitizers, no water, no food.
Yep.
Well, guess what? That's what happened in Venezuela, Cuba, and Nicaragua for the socialists. That is what they live every day. Now, the difference here is a virus, and we still got resources to fight that. And also, we can buy guns and ammo without the socialist government to put you in jail. So I'm glad that every American that was born and living over here know now what it look like living in socialism.
Wow. Wow. And
That's what happens every day. You make a long lines to buy a one toilet paper, then the guy behind you smack your head and steal your toilet paper. And then guess what? He goes the next block and sell him for $20. That's
wow.
what we're doing right now.
Look.
We saw people from Youngstown and our freeway selling toilet papers with double of money yesterday. That is socialism.
Luis, we've talked about this for so long with you. I mean, you have seen it firsthand. You were in law enforcement in Venezuela. You saw it going south, and you came here. And I'll tell you what, every American should know what people like you have seen, because they would appreciate more what we have, and they would stand up more for some of the people we have out there now campaigning for presidency who want that socialism. I mean, you hit the nail right on the head, and it is so good to hear you say that this is something that we need to make sure we never go
that's
towards.
the reality, but the difference is we still got a good president, a good government, that will prevent that disease. The socialist is worse than the coronavirus because socialists destroy countries, economy, families, and guess what? We don't have the vaccine yet for the socialists.
You're right.
Still here in America, we're working together for that virus, but socialism is the horrible. This is the perfect example of socialism, Eric.
Wonderful.
Have a nice weekend, and thank you for your job.
Hey, thank you, Luis. Be safe out there, and stop by and see us sometime.
I'll tell you, he lays it out, doesn't he?
He don't mince words.
Yeah.
When we come back from the news, we're going to get to a little bit more of some newsworthy stories. We're going to talk about what we're seeing here at the store. We're on Target, broadcasting live from the studios of LEPD Firearms Range. We'll be right back after the break.
I'm on. Mike Brooks, Chris Jenkins, my brothers in blue. How are you today?
Do you want your Trump update?
Yes, go ahead. What is the Trump update?
He got tested for corona last night. He's going to help small businesses affected by this. And they're making masks, is all I've gotten so far.
So his test came back negative, or they don't know yet?
It doesn't say yet.
I would think they would rush his.
Right, you think.
Well, I'm glad he's going to help out small businesses, because that's going to definitely help my wife.
Yes, and us too. My main job too.
Yes, that's right.
Like very worrisome.
This is way out of hand, and we can blame the press for that.
Yes, we can.
Rich Nuttall, what are you trying to do, Rich? Because I can see you on Facebook. If you're trying to log in, you're in. Don, they say they interviewed a lady on Fox, said she had the virus and didn't even know it, thought it was the flu. I understand it does replicate or act like the flu, so a lot of people are probably blowing it off because of that, but I don't know. I feel that this is going to blow over here shortly, just like the H1N1 did. And I think we had a lot more deaths occur with the H1N1 in the first 6 months than we're anywhere close to now.
Can't find those mags?
Dan Beaver needs a cable gun lock. Come on in, Dan. We got plenty of them. We got all kinds of gun locks. Paul, checking in. Double gauge. You must be talking about Joe Biden's double gauge. Just point that gun off the balcony and give it 2 blasts. Yes, Paul, we are staying open. We are not closing.
What do you think? Is everything you thought? Oh, worse is fun, man. I love on.
They'll be here open. The range will be open Thursday. Come heck or high water, Phil. Or Paul. Bring them in. Let's shoot them. Cindy?
30 seconds, guys.
Okay, 30 seconds. You're right, Cindy. The press has really blown this way out of proportion. Where's your dad? Again, not where he's supposed to be.
Get some pizza. The man is famished. Please.
Jeez. All right. Well, I'm not going to eat on the set. I'm on probation.
Hey, Em, is my buddy Rich calling in?
There's nothing yet, but if he's trying the warm line,
Live from
what's the
LAPD
number?
Firearms Range and
give him the
Training
regular one,
Facility.
610
This
WTVN,
is
821
On Target, the
WTVN,
latest
right?
from the firearms industry, the products and politics that affect your hobby and liberty. This program may not be politically correct, but it is On Target. Now, your host, Eric Delbert.
Welcome back to On Target. I'm your host, Eric. Joined today in the LAPD studios, my father, Coner. Phil sits to my left, getting ready to put on the headset. Big Ed, unemployed Big Ed, sits to my far right. JC is on the line with us, and we're honored.
I'm not unemployed. I'm here.
We don't pay
Oh, that's
you.
right. You don't pay me.
And we're honored. My immediate right, who brought gifts, Mr. Blazer.
Yes,
you
thank
hear him
you.
every night on the drive home, and he's right here with us today. And we're standing by for a phone call from a good buddy of mine to give us the update on the industry. But before that, JC, you have the gun of the week, and it is one that we actually have here in front of us. Tell us a little bit about what we're looking at.
Well, we may have one, but my guess is it will not last long. I bet it'll be gone today. What we have is it's an incredible gun. Kel-Tec, which honestly, like a ballistic magazine, that's one of the ones I read, it just said it's probably the most unappreciated modern marvel of the firearms innovation is Kel-Tec product. And it's the Kel-Tec P17, which is a 22 long rifle pistol. But get this, let me tell you the features first. So it's lightweight, it is small, it holds, they call it the P17 because it'll have 16-round magazine. Yes, 16 rounds plus one in the chamber, which would give you 17. And the gun actually comes with 3 16-round magazines. It's only slightly longer than a dollar bill. It's got almost a 4-inch barrel, which is kind of surprising for something that small. The barrel is threaded, if you should choose to add a suppressor. 22 long rifle, and it's so light it weighs less than 13 ounces. So it's really a small gun, and the features that it has, it's got ambidextrous safety, it's got a fiber optic front sight. The takedown is similar to what we would call the Glock or some of the other pistols, where it's got the latches on the side. This time they're up closer to the front of the barrel. It's got an ambidextrous mag release in the form of the paddle release, like the HKs and several other firearms. Walther used to use those. But the price, what's our price on that, Eric?
$229.99, and this is Ed.
So $229.99, and you're getting a ultra modern 22. It comes with 3 16-round magazines. The trigger, they've really. It's amazing. At this price, has an excellent trigger, and everyone who's tested it says it's incredibly accurate. They're surprised at the accuracy. A lot of people think it's like a plinker, but some people said, you know what? If that's all you can handle for recoil is 22, hey, it holds 17 rounds of those puppies, so that's a lot of firepower. Now, as far as optics go, I mean, besides the sight, it does have a built-in optic cast into the frame in case you would want to put a lightweight. I say lightweight because it's a 22, and you'd want a lightweight fiber or a lightweight optic if you wanted to put on there. So if you want to put a red dot on there, make sure it's a small one. But anyway, incredibly small. It's good looking.
It is a good looking gun.
Great gun.
And John, you forgot to say that it had a front rail for light or laser. Yeah.
And
it does,
Hey, JC, is that? It looks like it could take an RMR.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. Yeah, it does have that cast in on the top,
right.
so it's not one of the rails that's cast in. So
Gotcha.
kind of overmolded in, and but when you're getting a $200 gun that's ultra modern and lightweight, and again, size of a dollar bill, as far as lengthwise, you could stick it in your pocket. It's not really meant for concealed carry, but boy, I'll tell you, it fit right in that pocket with no problem, and it's as light as a feather. It's just, George Kelgren, who was, by the way, last year the gun designer of the year. The NRA acclaimed him that honor. He comes up with these innovative deals. And Eric, you've been dealing with them for such a long time. You know how good the Kel-Tecs are. And for inexpensive, you get great quality.
Right.
And the trigger, like I said, is really excellent. So what a great great, great gun. And I said, we only have one.
Yep.
Folks, if you're listening out there, just come in and get it because it'll be gone today, I swear.
Yep, there you
All
go.
right.
Good gun of the week, JC. I have the gun of the week next week. We're going to jump to a quick break because my buddy Richie is on the line with us. He's going to help us understand what is going on from a nationwide standpoint as relates to firearms and ammunition this time of national, I guess, crisis or perceived crisis. We're on target. We'll be back after the break.
Hey, I'm back on. So, Mike, you just woke up. That's Mike Conley just woke up. Cindy said you had too many Coronas last night. Glad you're checking in, though. Hey, that little Keltec pistol's pretty nice. I might buy that before I leave here today.
Oh, do you really?
I don't know. Is there any restrictions on employees buying the gun before somebody else can?
I don't know what kind of values there day in, day out. If we don't, for you guys, you're trying to sell something, so it's good for you to go this gun. Yep. Following along. With us, it's like you want to stare at me for 3 hours, probably right. So I get it. Yeah. It's like, yeah. Well, how about you just listen to what we have to say? Because we are red hot. The radio station is on fire. The ratings are through the roof. We are on fire. Yep. So I'm so excited to be a part of this. But
Okay, it's weather time. In like a minute. I'm sorry, like 2 seconds.
Your ABC 6 first warning weather for today: cloudy and colder with a wintry mix likely by the afternoon, high of 42. Tonight, rain and snow mix is ending late, low of 31. For Sunday, lots of sunshine, dry and warmer, high of 48. It's currently 39 degrees on your severe weather station, News Radio 610 WTVN.
Traffic and weather every 10 minutes on the 10s, mornings and afternoons. News Radio 610 WTVN.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It's not warm when she's away. Ain't no
Welcome back to On Target. Popo, I assume that is a request from your side of the fence there. We're broadcasting live from the studios of LEPD Firearms Range and Training Facility. That's located at 999 Bethel Road. I'm your host, Eric, joined today with my father, co-owner Phil. He sits to my left. JC is on the line with us. Big Ed sits to my right, and we are honored and blessed to have Mr. Blazer sitting to our right as well. So, guys, well, first of all, Blaze, before we go any further, I just got a text from my mom. She says, hey, I'm a fan.
Hey,
Tell
Mom.
Mark I'm listening. So,
oh, thank you very much.
Yep.
That's really cool. Thank you, Mom.
Yep, so we got at least 2 people listening out there, my
right.
mom and Ed's daughter.
Somebody in St. Martin, too, right?
Yes, somebody in St. Martin.
We got all kinds of listeners out there. Come on.
Yeah, we got, 4 or 5, don't we, Eric? That we know
Exactly,
of.
yeah.
Yeah, that we know of.
So how on earth could you possibly tie this national crisis of a coronavirus back to firearms? Is the threat real? I'm not sure, but the panic certainly is. So yesterday at LEPD, we sold more 12-gauge shotgun shells yesterday than any other day since we've been open. Yesterday at LEPD, we sold more defensive ammo than any other time in our history. And yesterday right here, on Bethel Road, in the 7 years since being open, that's 6 Black Fridays, presidential elections, and multiple mass shooting hysterias, it was our single busiest day ever.
That's awesome.
So are people's perception of what's happening real, or whether the threat is real or not, the perception is, I need to make sure if these times get any worse, that we are protecting myself and my family. We have my buddy Rich, who always has a good view from a global, nationwide standpoint on some of these. Richie, are you there?
I am. Hi, guys. Good afternoon.
Richie, what do you think? Is this all craziness that's going to come and go, or should we really be buying ammo and toilet paper?
Well, I can tell you right now, there are preppers all over the world right now laughing at all of us.
Why is that?
Because they've been preparing for this for years.
You're right.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. It was leading up. We, at our distribution level, had some of the biggest sales days that we've had in a while. Ammo prices were already slated to go up the beginning of 2020, so that's going to hit soon. We had more ammo fly out of our door yesterday than we've had. As you know, we take in used guns from agencies. We've had Retooth, Glock 3 Gen 4, 22s and 23s that have been stagnant. Well, they are going out by the truckload now. And I'm serious, they're moving out. No, it's everywhere. Once again, it's been created by the press, and it's been politicized, and it has caused a panic, and it has just drove all the sales up. I've talked to other competitors and other distributors across the United States. I do that on a daily basis on my morning drive in, and they're experiencing the same thing. The buying is absolutely global. It's not global. It's more like, the coronavirus zombie apocalypse is now upon us.
So, Rich, one of the things we talk about is stores such as ourselves, distributors such as you guys. You plan that you sell X amount of 9mm a month, and you stock the warehouse as such. You have orders on, in the hopper to resupply those through your supply chains. So when times like this happen, it drains it. It drains the stores, and then it drains the distributors. So it's going to trickle back to the manufacturers. What do you think? Are we going to see another Sandy Hook era where the manufacturers are caught off guard and not producing ammo, or do you think this whole thing's going to come and go in a couple weeks and everything start to resupply itself?
Well, that's kind of two answers there. To be honest with you, first off, yes, absolutely. They were not planning for this. We're still going through the Trump era. Gun sales were slow. Ammunitions were slow. It was plentiful. Everyone was stocked up. They're completely caught off guard by this. There's no question. Will it die off? Absolutely. Like everything else, it's going to die off. This craziness and the hysteria will eventually just fade off. But yeah, they're going to be caught off guard. So what you're going to see is, from a distributor point of view, from my point of view, my inventory is going to be drained within the next week. I'll be out of inventory maybe a week and a half. And what will happen is the buying groups or the buyers, the dealers, will start with the ammo. Then it will segue over to the handguns. Then it will segue over to long guns and bolt action guns, and then finally shotguns. That's how the buying pattern has always been during these times, and that's exactly what we're encountering now. But will they be able to meet the demand? I think they've put everything into high gear to try to increase their production numbers, but it's from a business point of view, do they invest the time, energy, and material to try to meet the needs on something that could possibly fade off 30 days from now? So it's a guessing game.
Yeah, and you know what? Something that we've seen for the first time here. I mean, in the past when we've had worries about the presidential elections, and we've had worries about mass shooting hysteria, whatever that case is, it tends to be the AR and the basic handguns. I can't believe the run on shotguns that we've seen, Rich, and shotgun shells. We are out. If I look at my shelves right now, they are bare, and we had a lot of stock. I mean, people are just coming in and, what shotgun do you have? What shotgun do you have? I was a little bit surprised with that.
Yeah, that's catching me a little bit off guard too, because normally, like I had said, the way that the buying happens has been historically, every time there's a rush or there's any type of fear in our industry, they've gone from ammos and handguns and then long guns, tactical rifles. But this time around, it could be possible that, hey, listen, everyone has a good supply of handguns and long guns and tactical rifles. Maybe they're just trying to bring something else into their inventory. I'm not quite sure, but you're right. We got caught off guard also. We've had shotguns going out the door at an alarming rate.
And I'll tell you something too, Rich. I mean, we're a reputable, larger store, and you're not going to see prices of ammo go up by dollars overnight just because of this hysteria. It's not going to happen here. But I will tell you that as we start to go and take for 9mm, for example, we get a good deal on it, and we buy it in good quantities. As we've depleted that, now we're starting to scramble like everyone else. And I'll tell you, the 9mm that we just got in yesterday was almost $2 a box more than what we typically get it for. And it's not because somebody has increased that in the supply chain. It's now we can't be picky. So, we're used to getting 115 grain, ball ammo. Well, now if 124 grain is all that's available and it's a little bit more, that's what we have to get. So just so people know out there, if you come in and see the price of ammo raised a little bit, it's simply because we're scrambling to get whatever we can, even if it's at a couple dollars more, just to have it. And I'm sure you're doing the same from a distributor standpoint too, Rich, right?
We are, but I will make this point very clear. There were already price increases across the board already slated for 2020. We've already received some of our new pricings from our manufacturers that already showed price increase. Remington just had an astronomical price increase. I'll throw that one up. But it was already slated to have the price increase. So you're going to see this, and your consumers, your buyers are going to see this also. But right now, you're 100% accurate. You're going to try to grab whatever you can to get it in the store to take care of your customers, regardless of the caliber variations or the grain variations or even the manufacturer's names. You're going to grab what you need to get it into your store to take care of your customers.
Did you happen to, Eric, the people that were coming in, buying the shotguns and stuff, I'd be curious, and I don't know that you asked them or whatever, but if this is a third or fourth or second gun of theirs. Because to Rich's point, like with regard to maybe not necessarily, you're caught off guard because it's, shotguns, as he was, as opposed to the long guns or the handguns or whatever. But it's more of, isn't that more of a home defense
It
kind
is,
of weapon, right?
and you make a good point, because that's kind of the people who are buying the shotguns were buying it because everyone's perception is, geez, if I have a 12 gauge, I'm going to rack the slot. I mean, it's a home defense, hunker down, protect my family, just a perception. And those were the type of people buying them. They were coming in, they wanted something inexpensive if we had it, but they wanted a shotgun because, they weren't, I can't tell you how many people walked in the door and said, hey, I'm not a gun guy. I'm not against firearms, but I'm not a gun guy, but it's time.
You don't have to be a good shot either with a
Exactly.
shotgun. Just the general vicinity will get the job done.
Exactly.
So
It's like Sleepy Joe said, get that 12-gauge double barrel and 2 blasts, and you're safe.
That's after you rack the slide.
If I can,
Go ahead, Rich.
If I can interject for a second, this might actually answer the age-old question: what is the best weapon for home defense? Because if everyone's going to a shotgun, well, there's your answer.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
There it is.
That is right. Hey, Rich, do you think we're getting scarily low? I think I made that word up. We're getting very low inventory.
That's out of the AOC playbook.
I guess. Don't make it up.
Just make up the words.
We're getting low on basic Glock 19 inventory. And to the point, and you're going to laugh at this, Rich, because we've had this conversation numerous times. I actually had to order some in with the commie mags, the 10-round Massachusetts mags, because that's all I could get. So, the stock out there's certain states that have restrictions on magazines, and those Glock 19s are sold with 10-round mags. And sometimes that's all you can get. So do you think manufacturers, the big ones like Glocks, do you think we'll see that pick back up? Or do you think they have it in inventory and it's just a matter of the distributors getting them back in?
So all manufacturers, and I know this in the time I worked for Sig Sauer, all manufacturers do what's called a bill of material, a BOM. The BOM is based on volume of firearms that have been sold the previous year, the previous month, the previous quarter. So these bombs are already in the system for the next 9 months out. So they're not going to change what they're doing right now because it takes so much to change that manufacturing aspect of the business. They're going to stay on course. They're not going to shift. They have, their buyers buying springs and followers, and the base plates are being made and the bodies are being made for the magazines. That has already been booked out for 9 months. So, no, you're not going to see a shift, in my opinion.
Right. So what do we do? Do we cave to the hysteria? Do you buy a couple extra boxes of 9, Rich, or do you let this pass and we'll all be talking about this at the year-end in review?
Well, I don't want you yelling at me if I tell you to buy as much as you can, but at one time, you remember back in the day, I did give you that suggestion, and you stocked up well, and it paid off for you when you took care of your customers.
Yep.
I think, honestly, my gut feeling is telling me that this is going to subside. I'm hoping that's the case because I'm not comfortable with what's going on and the knee-jerk reaction, the fear that's being created right now over this flu. And
that's our thought, too, Rich.
Smart.
I think it's
smart.
Yep, Paul.
Rich, you told Eric, to buy. And that's great. And that's what Eric likes to do. He likes to buy. And then he gets help from his wife, Lori, for buying too much.
Never.
But you know what, Rich? In all honesty, we've had many internal conversations this week. To buy extra ammunition, all I'm doing is buying it today. And I hope this subsides in a week. I do. I hope it gets back to a normal environment. But all I'm doing is I'll be stocked for the next 6 months. So it's not, it's not like I'm buying something that I'm going to be sitting here with and not be able to sell. So in that regard, I don't feel too bad. JC, I know we haven't got to you. Any thoughts there, JC?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been following this all morning from different stores, and like you said, shotgun seems to be it. A store's been in business for 61 years in upstate New York in Rich's territory, but anyway, he just said, I've never seen anything like this. He goes, it's senior citizens coming in with a shotgun. They want to protect themselves. They know it's relatively simple, and that's what they want. The other thing is, ammo doesn't go bad. I've shot ammo over 100 years old. I mean, it sticks around for a while, so just like toilet paper. You have it, you're going to need it eventually, and I think that's what people are doing. Which, by the way, there's none up here. Really quickly, a woman behind me in the line just had a cart full of paper towels, and I turned to her and it goes, paper towels, the new toilet paper. And she just, without a smile, said, that's exactly why I'm buying it. I mean, it's terrible. But ammo, the shelves up here that I've been looking at in the stores where I am, and they're emptied, and I'm seeing it everywhere. So no matter what the cartridges are, so I think and you've seen too many disaster movies. If you look, whether it's Walking Dead or whatever, but people are going, my goodness, I want to protect myself. I'm not a gun person, but I want something. And I think they just announced today that they think that it could go in Ohio. The health director said we could have 100,000 cases in Ohio. I mean, when the news media is feeding all this, and people just want food, they want their necessities, and they want to protect their families. And I think, Eric, you're going to see this going for a while until everybody has what they need. That's I think, what's going to happen.
Hey, Rich, thanks for calling in. We're up against the end of the hour already. Thanks, Richie. I'll catch up to you this week. Thanks for always for your insight. And JC, I'll catch up to you as well. Thanks for calling in, and stay safe. We'll try to send some TP up your way. Next week, we're going to talk about next week we're going to have Liberty Ammunition on with us. They're kind of a hot topic. We don't really get into the boutique ammo, but these guys are the real deal. They're going to jump on with us. Paul.
No, that's okay. If you have something to say.
I got nothing to say.
I was just going to kid you. What was that word that you coined there talking on the phone?
Scarily.
Scarily.
Yeah.
That's probably the same as these other words like the weather people, tornadic. I've never heard that.
AR-14?
Well, yeah, and physicality.
Yes.
And you probably know that, Mark.
That's a word.
Physicality.
Is that a word?
I don't think that's a word. Physicality.
It is now. It's heard here. It's on the radio. It has to be a word.
The sports announcer has been saying that for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
Another one that gets you is irregardless. It's regardless, not irregardless.
Exactly.
Irregardless. We do shows like this about these kind of words, so people call in with all kinds of fun stuff. But scarily is a good one.
All right.
Scarily, yeah.
You can use that, Blaze.
Don't be so scarily.
Hey, thanks for spending the last hour with us. Mr. Blazer, thanks for coming in.
Sir.
Thanks for the pizza, too.
Yes.
Guys, next week, jump back on with us. Stay safe. If you need stuff, we are here, 999 Bethel Road. Em, thanks for pulling all the levers on the backside as usual. Have a good week, guys.
See you, Facebook. Have a good weekend.
From the Elk and Elk Studios, if you were injured on the job, call the lawyers at Elk and Elk at 1-800-ELK Ohio. News Radio 610 WTVN.
This is Brad Koffel with the Koffel Law Firm and WTVN Legal Analyst.
You ready there, Miss M?
Yes, hold on 1 second.
Mm-hmm. It actually goes to my office door right now. It's not in the... Hey, Papa, Mom texted. Says, you didn't tell me Blazer was going to be on. I love Blazers. Blazer, this is my wife.
I know your voice. I don't know your face.
Now she's ruined the whole perception of you.
I'm ready whenever you are, Eric.
Hey, we're having too much fun here, Em.
Must be nice.
You got to get out of that joint. Okay, here we go. Hold on a second.
I'll get there. Well, it's snowing now, so you know.
I know. I can see it out the window. Okay, here we go.
All right, ready.
This is Eric from OnTarget. This week we welcome Liberty Ammunition to the show, and Eric has the gun of... Oh, let me try that again since I'm Eric.